Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone has become one of the most dominant names in track and field over the previous 4 or 5 seasons. She's won Olympic titles, she's broken world records, she's even dipped into the top 10 over the 400 meters over the course of just about 4 or 5 races. Whenever McLaughlin-Levrone is putting her mind to a single task, she is almost unstoppable. And the same thing has happened in 2024, as she has made her grand return to the 400-meter hurdles. Even though she hadn't run in this event for 2 straight years, she dropped a massive world lead with a dominant performance of 52.7 seconds in this year's Edwin Moses Legends Meet. McLauglin is just so good and so consistent that she almost locks herself into medal position whenever she goes into the big global finals. But something recently just surfaced that is something that I have personally never seen before, and it is certainly something that has never happened in track and field. And if we go over to the United States Nationals entry lists, we can actually see that right now, she is entered in the 400 meters, the 400 hurdles, and also in the 200 meters, which she is currently ranked number 2 in the world right now. Now, I do not know whether or not this is an official listing of what's going to happen in this year's United States Championships, because if this is the case, she has a lot of running to do over the course of about 1 week. But looking at what she has done this season, it makes some sense that she might dip into the 400 or perhaps in the 200 meters. But also, she would have to look at the full schedule for this year's Olympic Games for something like this to even be feasible. And right now, it does seem somewhat realistic to see her competing in these 3 events. Now, in the 400-meter hurdles, she is almost a lock to make it to the Olympics and make it onto the podium. She hasn't lost since 2019, she's broken the world record 4 times, and she threw down the greatest world record in history in this event, running a time of 50.68 in the 2022 World Championships. McLauglin is genuinely a 400-meter hurdles master, and if we go back to this year's performance, where again she hadn't run in 2 straight years, she more or less jogged her way to a time that would land her in the all-time top 10 in the women's 400 hurdles. She is smooth with it, powerful with it, and she knows how to peak at the right time. But the most interesting event that she is listed in right now is certainly the 200 meters, because even though she is ranked number 2 in the world with a time of 22.07, she has never competed in this event in either a national championship or in the global finals. Now, when she did run in this event in this year's LA Grand Prix, she took down athletes such as Abby Steiner, Rashida Adeleke, and also Jenna Prandini, and she didn't just beat them by a little bit. She absolutely dominated over this world-class field. This was supposed to be a tight race with 200-meter specialists clashing against the talented Sydney McLauglin, but she just walked this field, and she actually took the lead very strong over the opening 100, and after that moment, nobody else in the field could catch her. Now, if she were to do the 400 hurdles and 200 double, this would already be an extremely rare occurrence, and I'm not entirely sure if anyone has ever done anything like this, but my guess would be no. But to see her also listed in the Open 400 adds an entire different dimension to this entire Olympic trials, because she has already cracked into the top 10 all-time with a performance of 48.74. But if she were to do all 3 of these events, it would be one of the most unbelievable and bizarre things to happen in sprinting. But if anyone were to do it, it would be Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. Now, piecing this kind of race together, she would be racing at least 9 times over the course of just 1 week. I want to be excited about this, but it's difficult not to be skeptical that there was either an entry list error, or perhaps she just accidentally placed herself in either the 200 or the 400. But this is kind of the bizarre wizardry of her coach Bob Kersey. They make all of these strange moves throughout the season. Sometimes they enter themselves into races and then withdraw. You never know exactly what's going to happen, so potentially this is just another way to throw off her competition and make her way onto the podium in either the 400 hurdles or the 400. Now, it is worth mentioning that they have agreed that she will be competing in the 400 hurdles. So from my position, I see this as more or less a lock moving into the Olympic Games, and I am very excited about this because I think she has the potential to potentially break 50. But with all of this exciting racing potentially going down in just a few weeks, I want to hear from all of you. What do you think about this triple listing for Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone? And what events do you think she will ultimately jump into come the Olympic trials? Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, until next time.